Hi, everyone. So I'm Dr. Ann Holt. I'm here at Penn State. My colleagues came from Manhattan as part of Arts Action Group to present with me. We just came back from Kosovo last week, so we're just continuing our journey together, I guess. For sure. Go ahead.
My name is Cindy McGuire. I'm a professor at Adelphi University in art ed, STEAM, arts, culture, and development, and co-director of Arts Action Group.
I'm Rob McCallum, originally from South Africa, an elementary school teacher, recently retired, but still involved with Arts Action Group, engaged in art education, STEAM, Maker, the big Maker movement.
After school programs.
After school programs. Summer program.
Retired. Not really. So our presentation is Arts Action Group, Collective Action, Centering Arts and Heat. Perfect theme for us. And we do not have, I guess the goal of this is, trying to get this right. The goal of our, all right, where are we? We don't have an article. So I was really excited about this theme because it just speaks to what we do as Arts Action. So we're an international community-based nonprofit organization, artist collective, arts educators, art therapists. We're positioned all over the world, artist teachers. I'm kind of like, I've got a few links to this article here because we had a lot of fun like putting together our article in terms of finding links that we could sort of situate ourselves in. But Arts Action Group is interested in facilitating arts and healing education initiatives with children and youth in conflict-affected environments. So we just got back from Kosovo. Cindy and Rob have gone 3 years, I guess, in Sri Lanka. Starting in the USA.
Yeah, I worked in the USA, primarily Long Island schools, because Adelphi is based on Long Island, doing our arts and literacy with new immigrant students in Mineola High School, working with girls, juveniles in a lockup facility for girls involved in the justice system or the non-justice system. And Western Sahara, we were there for a couple of years in the refugee camps in Algeria. And since that time, we're primarily partnering with our friend and colleague, Mohammed Slayman Labat, who has an art center in the refugee camp where he was born and lives, and is also an author and poet. So we kind of work supporting his work.
This recent book that we published has chapters by various partners with Arts Action Group as well as other folks. So I guess one of the reasons why having a wiki article is really important is the fact that in many of these environments, people are dealing with a lot of different oppressions, a lot of different issues of erasure. And so in some ways, we wrote this article in order to locate them on Wikipedia. It was also quite interesting looking for different links because of the issue of finding truths. So in many of the links for these different places where there have been geopolitics, we had to be very careful about where we were actually sourcing, like which wiki links that we were actually adding to our article. You want to jump in on this one?
So yes, what we see there, that's Velbach House, largely where we've been working out of in Taranda or Surreka, which is a little town on the map somewhere towards the bottom where Prizren is. And we've been going there for 10 years. And it's a community that's isolated, and very, very few resources.
I think too, similar to all these sites, like a youth bulge.
Yes.
And all three sites and spaces are not recognized sovereign nations. So they live in this kind of liminal space. It's really hard for people to get work, to get visas to travel. Families are really kind of split up because the diaspora is so huge. The only way to make a living often is to leave the country if you can do that, if you have that capacity.
And the other thing is, this was a site of the Kosovo War. So there was, so especially in this small community, there isn't one family that wasn't impacted in some way by ethnic cleansing, genocide, disappearances, rape. So there's, even though it was 20 years ago, there's still generational trauma. There's still this sense of rebuilding, even though it is developing.
So yes, 95% of this village was destroyed. But I think what's interesting is the importance that certainly Felber House and the community has placed on the arts
Arts and culture.
arts and culture. So that's, we've been invited there, and that's what's been so great, is to be able to participate in that.
And watch these kids grow up in the program.
Yeah.
As well.
So Sri Lanka, we are invited to Mullaitivu, which I don't know if people are familiar with the Sri Lanka Civil War. Is 29 years long. Tamil Tigers, Tamil community in the north, Sinhalese in the south. Also another situation with gross human rights violations in the north right now. It's kind of a de facto military state. So if you're a Tamil, you are surveilled. It's the school where we've been working is surrounded by like military with full combat gear.
In the school.
In the school. Very hard to make a living. They've been moved off their land. And no access to find out about disappearances from the war. And that ended in 2009, but there's obviously continued traumas going on there. So we've been working with 2 Jesuit priests in 2 different schools in Alampo, Mullaitivu, and St. Henry's in Ilovale, north of Jaffna. So up at the tip.
And what's interesting, the picture on the right is from our first trip there, or second trip there. Saw the importance of and the contribution that we made regarding arts education. The interaction room, which you see there, it's open plan, and
It's not a typical classroom,
yeah,
which is more desk in a row, teacher in the front.
and it's
Students
become
in-
the most exciting room in the school,
Yeah.
but where all the children want to go and participate.
It's really beautiful too. Let's see, let me go back to here. So,
Western
whoops,
Sahara.
Western Sahara.
Okay,
Oh,
and
I'm having such a hard time with Zoom.
And just briefly, so then the Western Sahara, so when Spain pulled out of that region, the Western Sahara, Morocco came in and basically claimed the area that's marked here with the yellow. And this is in the late 70s. So most of the men were involved in the war. So the women and kids fled to these refugee camps south of Tindouf in Algeria, and they've been living there for about 48 years. So they are permanent refugee camp status is what's going on. And again, like Sri Lanka and Kosovo, they're very committed to arts and culture as a tool for change and resistance and transformation. So these camps have an art school, cinema film school, and music school. So they're,
So one of the major principles that we're working with is this idea of the capability space. So it's coming from Martin Nussbaum's work in terms of fostering capabilities, even capabilities such as empathy, play, hope, ability towards independence, building their own future, envisioning their future. And so we see that as this creative space we've talked about it through like Artful Coalition. Like it takes a village, you can't do this on your own. And it's also just the wanting to live a life that you value. So, and however that is deemed valuable in your own way. So not so much this top-down approach of NGOs basically saying this is what you need or this is what's good for you, but being able to dictate and have some authority in that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the major differences with Arts Action Group is that it's actually a horizontal system, the participants, as opposed to vertical. And this has played a big role in terms of us always being invited back. I know in Sri Lanka, they said, the Red Cross was there, the Australian, whoever the big NGOs were there, they come and they go. And as Joel said, we weren't given the tools to learn how to fish. That's what we seem to be providing.
So even in Kosovo, we were there for a week. We kind of had an idea of what we were going to do. We brought lots of supplies in that, but what ends up, what starts on Monday and what ends up on Friday is completely taken by the students and the youth involved. So it's always lots of flexibility, lots of play, messiness. Okay. So socially engaged art is key to this in terms of working through the different kinds of like problems, the relationships, and this key towards social change. And art therapy is also a principle involved. In the group, we have a couple licensed art therapists. And so, but it also depends on what is being asked on site. So arts and healing threads through it, but how that looks and what that means is different in different contexts. No, that's good. And so the website is artsaction.org, and it gives more information in terms of these different sites and who we are. We have the team listed up there. Our partners are also located in the sites where we work as well. So what we're hoping for, I put in chat, I am going to stop sharing here. I put in chat, maybe I could just do this again here. As I said, we don't have an article yet, so I'm hoping that we can make. So would somebody like to do that?
I can create a page. Okay, so you're going to work on creating a page, and so somebody else that and particularly if you haven't edited before, there's people sitting next to you. I can come over at the bottom.
So exciting.
And then publish. And I'm going to cancel my thing.
Oh my God, I love this.
So then you still hadn't had a page yet, though.
No, it's right here.
I just created the.
Oh, wow.
The problem is
Hey.
it probably didn't. I know. It doesn't look right away.
We have liftoff.
Yeah.